Please raise your hand if you know where your water comes from. It's pretty good. Please raise your hand if you know where it goes down the drain. Not so many hands. Now tell me if you know how much you paid for that service last month. See some hands out there? Everyone knows how. Okay, well, the truth is most of us actually don't know. Most of us don't really think about the water that goes down the drain. But here's what most of us did this morning. Water on, brush your teeth, water off. Water on, shower, water off. Water on, coffee, water off. None of it really thought about, just automatic. Now imagine tomorrow morning, you go downstairs to do your morning business and the toilet doesn't flush. You want to wash your hands, you go to the faucet, nothing. Another faucet, nothing. Your neighbors, same. And now you're starting to feel thirsty. And then you realize, I can't make coffee, and you begin to panic. So what would you be willing to pay now to get your water back? Ben Franklin said it best. When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. But we act as if that day will never come. We treat water as other utilities. Electricity, gas, garbage, out of sight, out of mind, cheap and guaranteed. But water doesn't belong on that list. Water is the foundation that everything else is built on. Your home, your business, our city, all the people you love, none of it without water. So why aren't we acting like it? And what is it costing us? In January this year, the United Nations declared global water bankruptcy. Not stress, not crisis, bankruptcy. We've drawn down our savings and we cannot pay our debts. And the overdraft, it's staggering. We've pumped so much water out of the ground in the last 20 years, we have measurably tilted the axis of the earth. So why are we letting this happen? It's because water isn't like other resources. Most resources, they warn us when they become scarce. Price increases, you feel it, you adjust. Water's not like that. Extraction stays cheap until day zero. Just a deeper well until it's dry. Here's an example. This month, in the local newspaper, front page announced that a nearby fast-growing city had secured a 20-year water supply. That sounds like good news. It isn't. It doesn't mean they've found more water. It doesn't mean they began reusing the water they have. It means they gained permission to pump the same wells harder from our aquifer, the one already declining more than 2 feet a year, a decline officials have called an existential threat. The warning came, and we reached for a bigger drill to keep water cheap. And it's about to get worse. Every large data center uses the same amount of water as a town of 50,000 people. We're permitting entire towns of water use for servers as our aquifers continue to drop. This market won't save us because it cannot price what we do not value. All known life depends on water. And this earth, with all its abundance, has been making clean water and saving it for billions of years. Think of what that water has made. Orchids, redwoods, coral reefs, birds of paradise, your favorite song, every meal you've ever shared, every sleeping child. None of it without water. Of the Earth's natural systems, this is the most essential, the water cycle. Water rises into the atmosphere, falls as rain, scrubbing the earth clean, washing the surface of the earth. By the time it reaches a low point, it can be filthy. But instead of becoming toxic, It gets folded into slow water, estuaries, wetlands, where microbes and plants use that contamination as fuel for their own growth. Some of that water flows onto the sea. Some of it drains into the aquifer beneath our feet. This is how nature solves water, by recirculating it, transforming waste into life, creating abundance to spare, and banking fresh water for a not-so-rainy day. We know how to do this too. We call them nature-based solutions, designs that participate in ecological systems instead of fighting against them. Soil and plants and microbes cleaning water like they have for billions of years. Slow water, not fast. Recharge, don't discharge. Generate instead of dispose. At every scale. The same biology that cleans a wetland can clean a city block. The same principle that recharges an aquifer can be designed into your backyard. We have the technology, we've known how to do this for decades. What's missing is the will to choose it. In this time of AI, in this time of artificial intelligence, we need ecological wisdom. Ecological wisdom applied to our water systems means nature-based solutions and water reuse at every scale. So why aren't we doing this? Technology isn't the bottleneck. What's missing is intentional participation before the well runs dry. What's missing is the feeling of the importance of water, because innovation moves fast when people feel the existential necessity of water. I learned this in Lima. Lima is a city of 11 million people. It essentially never rains there. 9 years ago, I was working with a community on the outskirts of the city, designing nature-based solutions for water systems with people who have no municipal water or sewer at all. They told me how they build their settlements themselves. First, they carried water in buckets up the hillside from the trucks far below. Then they built roads so those trucks could come closer to their homes. Then they built cisterns so those trucks could fill them once a week. Generations of work, their homes, their staircases, their streets, their water. It's easy to romanticize this, but there is nothing romantic about diarrheal disease and infant mortality. So they pay 6% of their income. That would be thousands of dollars a year for us to keep that water flowing, because they know what it makes possible. That was my first lesson. Because when they were introduced to water reuse, they didn't just adopt it, they made it their own. My second lesson came 3 years later. I was back in Lima. The pandemic had hit. I was locked down, alone, waiting for the State Department to evacuate me. And one afternoon, the power went out. At the same moment, the water stopped. Both gone, no timeline. And in that moment, I understood. Water is the foundation on which everything else is built. Lights, heat, cooking, cleaning, health. Take away water, and it all collapses. That community in Lima has known this their whole lives. They have felt the value of water their whole lives. It is not too late for us to feel it too. So what do we do before the well runs dry? 4 choices. Think of them as 4 investments, because that's how we're going to get out of water bankruptcy. The first choice is the most personal. It's about how you participate at home. Choose to know your water. Know how much you use. Know how much you pay. Know where it comes from. Know where it goes. Knowing your water, you might just catch a leak. I actually did just a couple weeks ago. Most of the water you're responsible for, you never see. It's in your food. Some of it takes a little, some of it takes a lot. What you put on your plate is one way you participate. And you can take the water cycle from your home to your yard a rain garden, laundry to landscape. Your washing machine moves 20 gallons a load. You can feed your yard instead of your drain. The second choice is with your wallet. I'm going to ask you to pay more for water. I know how that sounds, but remember, water isn't a utility. Water is life. So what's it worth to you? Here's one way we can do it. Tiered pricing. Small amount for free, enough to survive. And then as use climbs, price climbs. This rewards conservation. It funds the infrastructure we need. Where it's been tried, aquifers are recovering. You know that community in Lima, 6% of their income for water? What would you be willing to pay to keep the well from running dry? The third goes beyond your home to our local government. A municipal bond for wastewater reuse or groundwater recharge. A building code requiring greywater plumbing in new construction. Mandate water reuse in large commercial buildings. These are decisions city councils make, and city councils respond to people who show up. Imagine a county commissioner who runs on water this November and wins. The fourth is about the economy we're building. We're about to permit thousands of data centers across this country, each one consuming the water of 50,000 people. First, we started throwing drinking water in our toilets. Now we're throwing drinking water on our computers. Which kind of intelligence is that? We can run data centers on reclaimed water, build them next to wastewater treatment plants, cool them with water we've already used, or cool them without water at all. AI is here to stay. Just don't let it drink the water people depend on. 4 choices, 4 investments, because that's what each one of these is. It's an investment. Because we are in water bankruptcy because we have not invested enough in water, because we are not invested enough in water. The precedents exist. What's missing is the invisible hand of the market. But the good news is you are the invisible hand. Demand this. We have lived as if water were a utility. Cheap, guaranteed, someone else's service to provide. That assumption is bringing us to the brink. But we do not need to wait until the well is all the way dry. Water isn't a utility. It's an existential choice. We are part of the water cycle, whether we feel it or not. When we die, the water in our bodies goes back to the sky. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Be the person who feels the value of water. Be the person who invests in it. Be the person who chooses it. Water on, water off. Automatic or intentional. Thank you.